This is a song that's very dear to me, dedicated to you. Don't want women, don't want wealth, don't want fortune or fame. All that I want, life after life, is just to chant your name. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva, 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 gatiranyata. And if you give me, yeah, if you give me 1,000 years, it's insufficient, so insufficient to properly hear. Trinadapi Sunichena Tororiva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadari. And if you give me 1,000 years, it's insufficient, still insufficient to nicely hear. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's all I want. So, I mentioned last night what is the science of prayer. That first you glorify, then you submit yourself, and then you make your appeal. In this song, I wanted to take the most important concepts that have to do with chanting and put them in one song. So the first verse is a paraphrasing of the verse by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his Shikshastakam verse number 4, where he says, Nadanang, Najanang, Nasundaring, Kavitang va Jagadisha Kamaye, Mama Janmani Janmanishware, Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoituki Twai. Lord Chaitanya teaches us that we should be praying to God, but it should not be anything material. These items, women, wealth, fame, fortune, these are all material. These are not spiritual. Things that we get materially are limited and temporary. They will not carry forth. They end. Spiritual, that is eternal. So then the next verse, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. That in this age of Kali, the only recommended process of religion is the chanting of the name of God. And then the next verse, what should be the mood of chanting? And again, that's from Lord Chaitanya's Shikshastakam. One should be meek and humble, give respect to others, don't worry about others respecting you. And in this way, you can always easily chant. And then the bridge of the song, that once someone is actually tasting the holy name of God, when one is actually has some appreciation, some taste, then one thinks with 2 ears, that's not enough to hear. With 1 tongue, it's not enough. I need more, because this holy name is so unbelievable. It's so inconceivable. All my aspirations can be fulfilled just by chanting. And then the song ends, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, welcome everybody. The program is officially starting. And I have been given a very strict outline and schedule, and I will try my best to do that. Otherwise, I won't be hired next year. Huh? Yes, that's right. Oh, that's right. I always think, yes. So, 2 or 3 of your all-time hit songs with a little explanation. 1 song based on importance of chanting. All right. So, I know, since you're one of the 3 hosts, that I should at least do this song. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. I read a certain book, it touched my heart. I hear a special sound, tears me apart. But oh, many lives gone by, I've wasted all of them, now I know the answer why. What should I do? I must surrender, 'cause Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Krishna is God. All together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I don't care what they say about me. They say I'll never, never be free. But oh, it doesn't matter what they say. I know I'm gonna love it any old way. What can I do when it's true? I can't help myself, 'cause Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Let's do it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It doesn't matter what they say. I know I'm gonna love any old way. What can I do when it's true? I don't want nobody, nobody, 'cause Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Krishna is God. Krishna is God. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. You all do it one more time. Again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna is God. Now I have to warn you, at some time tonight, I will probably cry. It's been a very emotional day already, and you guys are so great. So if I cry, don't worry about it. Chant Hare Krishna. I haven't cried yet. But you can still chant Hare Krishna always. So this song is very simple to understand. And that Krishna is God, that is a significant realization of one's life. There are several verses in the Bhagavad Gita where it is revealed to us by Krishna that it is a rare individual who can actually come to that realization. Realization is higher than knowledge. Knowledge is what you get from your teachers or from the holy books. But realization is a different subject. I'll give you what I mean by realization. Somebody can explain to you, or you can read in a book, that if you eat a certain food, they describe what it looks like, they describe how it's made, and they can even attempt to describe how it tastes. Now, that's knowledge. But when you actually eat the item, that's a different story. Now you have tangible experience of the thing. So, to have this, and technically, this is called Vigyan. Gyan is knowledge, but Vigyan is realized, experienced knowledge. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, Krishna says, out of many, many thousands of people, there's a few who try for self-realization. And of those who have achieved self-realization, you may find a rare soul who understands Krishna in truth. And then there's this other verse of the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that if you understand me as God without doubting, then you're the knower of everything. So, I was once asked by one Indian man, how come some people, even Indians, of course, those not Indian, but even Indians, how come one person accepts Krishna as God and another doesn't? And my answer at that time was, and it's still my understanding, is that the acceptance and realization that Krishna is God is actually a gift from Krishna. And the other verse in Bhagavad Gita, this gift, this realization comes after many, many lifetimes. So if you have come to that point where you know in your heart, yes, and you accept in your heart, Krishna is God, that has come to you after a long, long cycle of birth after birth after birth after birth after birth. Long time. And don't lose it. Don't lose that understanding. And the same question is there in the Mahabharata. There is a section, and Sanjaya's master, Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya knows that Krishna is God, and Sanjaya keeps trying to tell Dhritarashtra, Krishna is God, he's on the side of the Pandavas, don't go to war against the Pandavas, you're going to lose. Not only are you going to lose, you're going to lose all of your 100 sons. Sanjaya was the servant of Dhritarashtra, and he was his well-wisher. So, he was trying repeatedly to tell Dhritarashtra, don't go to war. You're not going to win. So at some point, Dhritarashtra says to Sanjaya, how come you have this faith and belief in Krishna and I don't? And so Sanjaya says, well, first of all, you don't have the association of great saintly devotees who also have that same faith. That's the key. You have to be in the association of people who already have it. Then you can get it from them. And it's true with anything. Association is very powerful. If I stopped associating with people like you, and I started to associate with smokers and drinkers and womanizers, eventually I would become a smoker, a drinker, and a womanizer, because association is very powerful. So if you keep yourself in good association, you'll be good. And if you associate with the bad people, it's just a matter of time. And parents, watch your children as they go to school. You should know who their friends are, because their friends are going to have a big influence. And if you're not attentive, one day your child is going to come home with a very foul mouth. And where did they learn that? From their friends at school. And one day they will say to you, well, such and such is doing this, and this. So you have to be careful, and you should know who their friends are, so that you don't get some big surprise. So association is one of the most important things a human being. Then we even have an expression, show me who your friends are, then I know who you are. My friends are all like you. So that's why I'm good, because I hang out with the good people, the nice people. It's time for your song.
Really?
Yes.
I thought yesterday you sang, today you are sing something else.
No. No. It's time for your song. Okay? Just give me a second. All right. Never felt like this until I chanted. How did I exist before I chanted? Now you're on my mind. You're there all the time. I won't forget that you're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Sing with me. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender to you, to you. Things have really changed since I've been chanting. My life is not the same since I've been chanting. You've got a way about you. Now I can't live without you. I can't forget that you're inside my heart. inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender to you, to you. So let me go on chanting for 1,000,000 years. I can't forget that you're inside my heart, inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender to you, to you. I'm not that good. I'm good, but you guys are embarrassing me. You make me sound like, that clap is like I'm some kind of, well, anyway, I'll take it. As my wife always says, it's better than a kick in the pants. Anyway, this song is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, 3 kinds of yoga are explained. Maybe 4. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga. Actually, there's more. There's Sankhya yoga. And then Bhakti. There's also Buddhi yoga. Now that I think about it, there's also Buddhi yoga. So, Krishna explains throughout Bhagavad Gita different yogas. Krishna explains the pros and cons of different choices that one makes in this world. But if you go through Bhagavad Gita like I go through Bhagavad Gita every year, meaning completely, fully, then it is very obvious that Krishna recommends that one do bhakti yoga. He says if you do bhakti yoga, then you're the topmost of all yogis. And he also says that if you want to see me, bhakti. If you want to come to me, bhakti. If you want to know me, bhakti. And then, towards the end of his instructions, Krishna says, also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains confidential knowledge. Confidential knowledge is in chapter 2, that you're not the body, that you're spirit, soul. That's confidential knowledge. Then Krishna explains more confidential knowledge, knowledge of super soul, Paramatma. And he also explains the most confidential knowledge. And the most confidential knowledge has to do with bhakti and the supreme person, Purushottama, Krishna himself, because Paramatma is a reflection or expansion of Bhagavan. Whereas the most confidential knowledge is dealing directly with Bhagavan through bhakti yoga or devotional service. And towards the end, Krishna says, but now I'm going to tell you the most confidential knowledge. He already explained confidential knowledge, but now he tells Arjuna, now I'm going to explain something even more confidential. And he says, you should, number one, always think of me. And in the next sequence, I'll help you and explain how easy it is to always think of Krishna. You should become his devotee. You should offer your respect, veneration, bow down to him. Like all of you, when you come for blessings, you bow down. That's actually showing Krishna that you're bowing down to him. I'm just like Krishna's tax collector. I take your offering respect and I pass it up to Krishna. I can't keep it. And then Krishna then says, my Arjuna, give up all kinds of material, pious, religious ideas in your head. Because even religion is material. Krishna says you should just do one thing, surrender. Oh, that was the song. I was praying to Krishna in that song. I want to surrender. I should simply surrender. I should truly and really surrender. Not just, okay, I surrender. Now pass the cheese. No, it should be complete, wholehearted. Like in the Christian Bible. I always tell this when I am preaching. Every year I go to a Catholic high school and I speak to them about Hinduism. And so I always tell them their own book. I tell them, well, I used to be a Catholic, so I think I know the Bible. I haven't forgotten that much. And I remembered the most important thing in the Bible, because Jesus was asked, what is the greatest commandment? And Jesus said, oh, the greatest commandment? Love God. He didn't say love me. Huh? Love God. How? With your whole heart, your whole mind, your whole soul. That is exactly what Krishna is saying when he's saying, surrender to me, because Krishna is God. The God that Jesus is saying to love with your whole heart, that's Krishna. That's what I tell them. That God that Jesus is saying to love with your whole heart, your whole soul, that's Krishna. And then they ask their questions. That's how I open up. Because I'm convinced that Krishna is God. I know. I'm convinced. Ain't nobody going to change my mind. Okay, we'll do one more song, and then we go to phase 2. How many phases we got? Let's see. We got about 4 or 5 phases. So one more song? All right. So far, so good? Okay. Everybody okay?
Yes.
All right. Hold on a second. Okay, this song was actually, it wasn't created, but the current way I do it was born with you guys here in Santiago. You get credit for this. But first I have to tune the guitar. Can you chant Japa, please? It's so nice when the chanting is louder than the guitar. That's a good. He is the cause of all causes. He has no origin other than himself. Everything is emanating from him. Sing, Govind. Again. Take a break. I just worship. Again. One more time. All right. He is not void or impersonal. His form is spiritual, not material, and his beauty is the most attractive. What's his name? One more time. Beautiful. Okay. Now I belong to. One more. One more. He is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. He is the reservoir of all our pleasure. One more time. Black and beautiful. 2 more. 1 more. He is the goal of meditation. And when you chant his name, he reveals himself. He's far beyond the range of sense perception. 2 times. 1 more. No one's greater than. 2 more. 1 more. Twamadi Deva Purusha Puranas. Twamasya Visvasya Param Nidhanam. 1 more. I belong to. Come on. Come on. And with no effort, he controls the cosmos. He is the source of the whole creation. Again. Black and beautiful. Keep going. Little louder. Little bit more. Come on. Louder. 1 more time. When I was a young child, my mother used to like to watch this show, Lawrence Welk. And he was a heavy German accent. And he had like a variety show. So he was like the leader, the conductor. And after every performer, he would go, wonderful, wonderful. So that's how I feel like. I feel like Lawrence Welk, wonderful, wonderful. And now we're going to have. So, Govinda. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated by Lord Brahma, the creator, that actually Govinda is the original name of God. Krishna means all attractive, and Govinda means that he gives pleasure. Everybody loves pleasure. If you had a choice between pleasure and pain, you know what you would take. So Govinda gives pleasure to the land, especially what land? Huh? Vrindavan, of course, that's his land, right? Yesterday we sang Beyond and Beyond, right? We talked about that's his home. And he gives pleasure to what animal? Cow. Not the pigs, not the horses. Cows. Holy cow. Mother cow. Sacred cow. That's his pet animal. Don't mess with the cow. You mess with the cow, you're messing with Krishna. Big, big karma. Yes, you also get karma for killing animals too. Don't think, oh, okay, I won't kill the cow, but I'll kill all the other animals. No. But especially because there's a verse that if you kill a cow, you have to go to hell for as many hairs on the body of that cow. So Colonel Sanders and Mr. McDonald's, good luck. Better chant Hare Krishna. Better come see me. Better get some Ashirvad. All right. And then the third one, Krishna gives pleasure to the transcendental senses. Not the material senses. He gives pleasure to the purified or transcendental senses. Those purified or transcendental senses is what happens when you engage in bhakti yoga. When you engage in bhakti yoga, you are gradually transcendentalizing your current senses. Right now, we have material senses. But as you do bhakti yoga, your senses become spiritualized. My spiritual master gives a nice analogy that they have this thing where they make iron, right? The big mill. So they have this huge furnace, and they take the iron rod and they stick it in this very powerful fire. And if you stick it in long enough, that iron then becomes fire. It's glowing. It's on fire because it stayed in the fire for so long. And you touch that iron, bye-bye. So the same way, currently, presently, our senses are like iron. But if you engage them in service to Krishna, hearing, chanting, praying, worshiping, offering your food, all the different items of bhakti, gradually your senses become on fire and you develop transcendental senses. And so Krishna is gradually reciprocating, and you will one day have transcendental senses. And with transcendental senses, you can talk to Krishna, play with him. You'll always be in his association once you have transcendental senses. And his name is? The song? You said it so many times. Yes, but in one sense, the answer to every question is Krishna. So you can never go wrong, except when you go to school. You can't put that on your paper. But in my school, if every answer is Krishna, I have to give you 100%. All right? So either Krishna or Govinda. All right, now we're going to go to phase 2. Everyone chant japa.